Hey guys, so wanting to know what are strings in Python, why are they used, and how to use them, then this video is just made for you. So let's get started. So let's start making some strings in Python. Now that you know you store text, words, sentences, all those things that you don't want to perform any kind of operation as strings. So let me take one. Name. Name is something that I don't want to perform any operation. I don't want to add my name to somebody else or divide my name. So I'm storing name as strings. Now you have to store strings inside quotes. So I prefer using double quotes. You can use any of the quotes of your wish. Now I've stored name. Let me just show you what is the type of my variable name. It is str. Str is the short form of the type string. Now let me just store some more strings. Let's say I'm storing flavor. My first flavor, flavor 1, is vanilla flavor. My flavor 2, let's have another flavor 2. Let's put this in a single string. Is chocolate flavor. Maybe I like chocolate. So it's the chocolate flavor. So I have these two flavors. So this, I've run the cell using control enter. You have to run the cell in Jupyter. As you write your code, you have to run it. Now these flavor 1, flavor 2 and name, these were single text, only a single element. Now I can have string as a combination of many texts together with spaces. So let's say flavor, it's the general flavor consisting of all my combination, vanilla and chocolate. So flavor is also considered as a string. Let me check what is the type of flavor. The type, I have stored vanilla and chocolate together as a string. I have stored flavor 1 as vanilla, flavor 2 as chocolate. Both are again strings. Let me show you what is the type of flavor 2. So the type is again string. So these were all my strings. Now this is a way in which you store strings. Now one more thing, you can have integer strings also. I forgot to tell you, inside your strings you can have, these are just alphabets that I've used. You can also have something like vanilla and chocolate. Let me just make another. So I can have a sentence. Let's just keep it the name as sentence. I am 5 years old. So I am having what? And I can have a full stop also. So this sentence is a string. It's a sequence of characters, A, M, then it is having a number. It is also having a symbol like full stop. So your string can have sequence of numbers, alphabets, and even it can have some symbols. So we stored all of these sentence, flavor 1, flavor 2 as strings because we don't want to divide a flavor with another or multiply a flavor with another because those are like text and words. Now there are times I want to not perform operations on numbers as well. For example, my ID. I have an ID, I have my college ID. So let's take ID. ID is equal to, my ID is S2564. I don't want to divide my ID with somebody else, or I don't want to multiply my ID because that does not make sense, dividing your ID or multiplying your ID. So I will make it more favorable. It is more favorable and to store this as string. So this is an integer, this is a number, but I don't want to perform any operation in Python with this ID. So I will store this as string. And when I store this as string means I'll store this in double quote. I can't perform any operation, no addition of IDs, no subtraction of IDs. Let's see what is the type of my ID variable. It's a string. I can't add something to this. So this makes integer string. You can have integer strings or you can have character strings which are having character, or you can have a combination where I am having integer also, I am having some characters also. This is called strings. Now what can I do in strings? There are a lot of stuff that I can do in string. The first one that we'll be doing is string indexing. Means extracting an element from the string. Let's take my name. I have the name as a variable and I'm storing a string inside it as Mikash. Now I want to extract the first element of my name. So that's called indexing. So what I have to do, the method is, let me run this cell using Control Enter. Now how will I run? How will I index M? I want to index what is the first, what is my initial, what is the name, what does my name start from? I have to index M. So how do? I have to write my variable name, then I have to write a square bracket, and inside the square bracket I have to write the position of that initial. Now that you know, in Python the first element is given the position 0, second element 1, third element 2, and so on. So I will say I want the 0th position of my name from my name variable, and this gives me M. Suppose I didn't want my first element, I wanted my second element, that is I wanted the I from name. So I will say I, so the first element M is 0, I is 1, so 1 from name, give me the first position element, and that comes out to be I. So do you get that? So that was positive index where I was using positive numbers. I can also do negative indexing. So if I say if I want the last name, what is that last word from my name? So I will do negative indexing. How does negative indexing work? The last element, that is from Mikash, my last element can also be indexed as -1. So from reverse, the indexing is -1 for H, -2 for S, -3 for R, -4 for A, the other way around. Now that's something that not so right, because when you're going forward from starting, the indexing is 0, 1, 2, 3. But when you're going reverse from backwards, then the indexing is not starting at 0, it's starting at -1. So let me just print my name again. Print name. I'm printing my name variable. You can see it's Mikash. Now from Mikash, I want to extract the last element. So I have to say from the name variable, extract the -1th position element. That's you're writing in square bracket, and you expect it to be H. Suppose I want to extract the first element, but using negative indexing. So what is the negative that is coming? H is 1, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7. M comes to be -7. Let's say, yeah, so we got M. So that's about negative indexing, where you're extracting a single element. Now we will slice more than one element. We will be extracting a subset. So let me print my flavor variable. So I have in my flavor variable, I have a string vanilla and chocolate, but I want to make flavor FLAV1, which will have only vanilla. Okay, so how will I extract this from my name, from my flavor? So let's take flavor, because from this variable flavor, which is storing, I want, so I'll have to write flavor in square bracket. From where to where do I want? I want to start from the 0th index, that is from vanilla. Then I have to go up to this A. What is that index of that last A? So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll write from 0 to, when I'm writing till, for till I have to write this colon. Till what position? Till 6th position. Let me see what I get. So this is, I have just run my cell by pressing Control Enter. Let's print and see. Flavor 1. But what does this happen? It didn't give me the A. So how Python works is, your first element is considered. Your 0th position, if you say, it will consider 0. But whatever you write after the semicolon, that is not considered. One number before that is considered. So if I want till the 6th element, that is basically in this, I want till A, and the position of A is 6. Considering vanilla to be 0, the first A to be 1, L to be 2, next L to be 3, A comes till 6. So I have to write 7. I have to write 1 extra. Now you see I have my entire vanilla printed. So the last, after the semicolon that you write, that is not considered. One element before that position is considered. So this was from the starting. Suppose I want my flavor 2. I want my flavor 2. So how will I extract that? So I have to write from the flavor variable. How will I extract? Square bracket for extraction. Now I want to start from chocolate, that is from this C. So what is the position of this C? Till A we had 6, okay? Then for the space I will give, space is also stored, so space is also taking a position, 7. Then 8, 9, 10 for AND. Then again a space, 11. Then comes C. So I am starting with the 12th position. Till what? Till what it is going? So because it's going till the end, I don't need to write till where I have to go. I can just leave that empty. When I leave it empty, it basically means that take till the last element in that variable. Let's print and see how flavor 2 has been extracted. Now you see it started with the 12th element, considering V to be 0, then going on up till C to be 12, and because I didn't put anything after the colon, it meant take everything after the 12th position. Same way I could have done something here also. I could have not given the first element. That basically tells start from the first element. If I don't give anything before the colon, it means start from the first element. And after the colon I am specifying you have to stop before you reach the 7th position, that is up to the 6th position you have to give me, and I'll run this again. Now you see again it did the same thing. If I want the whole thing, what I can do, I can say from flavor start and stop. Start from the first element and I've not given anything, that means till the end. Let's see how this works. 1 minute. Let me just give this a name F. Print F. Now you see it is taking the whole thing. So that's how slicing works in Python. Now there are times that I want to know the length of my string. How many characters are stored inside my string? Considering the spaces also. You can't neglect the spaces. You have to consider the spaces. So I want the function that you use is len, length of my name. How many elements are there in my name? So Mikash consists of 7 elements. Let's go back and see how 7. Where is my Mikash? Look, let's just print Mikash over here. Print my name. Now you see it's having 3, 3, 7. So total there are 7 characters. So it printed the name as 7. Let me just show you another one. Now let me just print flavor. Okay, just print flavor. It's vanilla and chocolate, right? Now let me check what is the length of flavor. Now if you see, it's actually considering the spaces also. Vanilla is 7, so and is 3, that makes 10, and chocolate is 9, that makes 19. But it's considering the spaces also. 20, this space 21. So total length, total characters including space is 21. For what do you use that? You use the length function, and it is length. In parenthesis you have to write whose length do I want to find. I wanted to find the flavor variable length. You can have flavor 1 variable length. It's again 7. 1 minute. Let me just go and see what I've named. I've named it as flavor 1. Okay. So that's how things work. Next is string index. Now it was very difficult for us to find what was the index of chocolate, where did C start, where did A start, and all of that is very hard to find. If you're having long string, you can't start 0, 1, 2, 3 and start counting. So there's a function to help us to find the index, find the position of your character. Let me write my flavor 1. What was my flavor 1? It was vanilla. Okay, Now I want to know that n. I want to know what is the index of n. What is the position? I'm very tired. I can't count and see. So how will I do that? I have to say flavor dot index. Index is the method. Index is something that I'm performing on who? On the flavor 1. On the flavor 1 variable. That's why it's a method. I have to write the variable name. I have to write dot. I have to write index. That's a compulsory keyword that I have to write. And what do I want to index? Whose index I want? I want of n. From flavor, give me the index of n. And now you see, it is 2. And that's something we knew, right? V is 0, A is 1, and n is 2. That's the position of n. But suppose I say, give me the index of A. It is 1. Now that's surprising. There were 2 A's. I had A at the first position, that is considering V to be 0, and at the last also I had. That is basically at the 6th position also I had. But it didn't give me that. So that's the rule how index works. It will only give you the first appearance, the first time that variable has come, what was the position at that time. Now you might sometimes want to extract more than just I didn't wanted the A of the starting. I wanted the A at the end. Or maybe I wanted LA. I didn't just want A. I want more than one. I want an index of a sentence, something like that, okay? So I can say from flavor 1, index me the position of LLA maybe. It's 4. Now what does this mean? It will go and see LLA. So from vanilla, here is where LLA starts and ends here. So it will give me the index of the first element, that is L, and that comes out to be 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how I get. When I write more than one character, I write a substring and I'm indexing. I'm finding the index of a substring. It will give me the index of that first element, that is L over here. Let me take my flavor. What was my flavor? Let me just remind you. Print flavor. It was vanilla and chocolate. Let's say I want to find when does this vanilla end. What is that point where and start? So from flavor, index me where does and start, that is basically where does this vanilla get over. What is that position? It's that 8th position where my and starts. Basically it gives me the index of the first one, that is A. From the and it gives me the position of A. So suppose I want to just change my flavor. Let's take FLAVO is equal to vanilla is there, chocolate is there, and also I am having mango flavor and mango. Okay, now let me find the index of and. Surprising? It just gave me the index of the first and. Indeed, it gave me the index of the second and. So like how we saw for single element, it will only give you the first time when that and comes in that whole string. First time when it came. First time when it came, it may give me that only. So how we write? We have to write the variable name, we have to write dot index, and inside the curly bracket in double quotes or in single quotes or in triple quotes, I have to write whose, from that variable, whose index do I want. Because I wanted the and index, I wrote entire and it gave me only the first appearance and index. That's slicing, that is indexing of an entire slice. Now there are times you might want to know if something is present in the string or if something is not present in the string. So let me print my flavor. Now this is print flavor. it's vanilla and chocolate. But this is very simple. I want to check, is mango there in flavor? So that's how you use mango in flavor. That's how you check basically. False. It is telling no, mango is not there in flavor. Like in, you have not in also. That is the opposite. I'm saying mango is not in flavor. Is it true or false? It will tell me true. Mango is actually not there in flavor. Similarly, I can say my name is Mikash. You know that. I am checking. Does my name have an S? So I have to say S in name. It will say yeah, true, your name has an S. So that's how you check. That's called the keyword. You use something called as in. That is a keyword that is fixed. You can't use in somewhere else. You can't name your variable as in. And similarly not in, to check if something is not there or not. It will basically give you true or false. Now comes find and replace. What does this mean? This means, like, find is same as indexing, knowing the position. Let's say I just write a new wish. Wish is equal to happy new year. I'm wishing you a happy new year. That's my wish. Now I have a problem. I want to actually replace year to month. There's a new month. I'm wishing you happy new month. But I don't want to find the whole thing and say what's the position of year and all of that. So I can obviously say the very obvious one that you have, you can use from wish dot index me out. What is the index of year? And it gives me, it is the 10th position, considering H to be 0 position, A to be 1, and space 2 also being a position. Year, the Y from the year has position 10. So this statement tells me that year ka Y starts at the 10th position. But a better alternative is to use the find. How you do find? You have to say from wish, instead of index, find. What do I want you to find? Find me the year position. Again, it's giving me 10. Now that I know that it's starting at 10th, I can use something, I can do replacement also of year. How will I do replacement? Like find, you have a method called as replace. So from wish, the method replace. What is method? Again I tell you, method is something that you're doing on your string. Replace, what do I want to replace? I have to write that in the parenthesis. Year, what do I want to replace it with? I want to replace it with month. So the wish variable, from the wish variable, replace the year to month. First parenthesis, first parameter is what do you want to replace? Second parenthesis element is what should it be replaced with? Now let's print wish and see, has it been changed or not? Now if I run this, I can see wish has been replaced to happy new month. The year is replaced to month. So that's something that you can do. You can replace something. Concatenating string. Concatenating means to add up, to join strings. So let me just make some strings. I have flavor 1. Let's just take flav 1 equal to vanilla, flav 2 equal to mango, and okay, I forgot to put quotes to my vanilla string. My name, who is eating all of those, is Mikash, and the shop from which maybe I'll just take how much I've eaten. So the flavor 1 ice cream I have eaten, flavor 1. Let's take price. Okay, price is $20 and flavor 2 price is equal to $45. Now I want to concatenate this. What do I mean by concatenate? I want to make this into a sentence by joining them. So I'll be using something called as the plus operator, but plus does not mean adding all of those. It has a different meaning, different way. So let it be prices. Okay, no, let it keep it the name as X. What is going to be the joining of this? What I want Mikash ate vanilla ice cream of price $20. This is and a full stop. This is exactly that I want. Mikash ate a vanilla ice cream. Let me have or let it be like that. Ate a vanilla ice cream of price $20. This is a sentence that I want to make, and I have to use all of these strings that I have. So how will I do? So it starts with, firstly, Mikash. Do I have Mikash stored anywhere? Yeah, I have it stored. So I have to say name. Then I'll add a plus sign. What do I want to add? I want to add ater. So I will write this as string, because what I'm writing, this is also a string, right? Ater. Then next is vanilla. Do I have vanilla stored anywhere? Yeah, I have vanilla stored in flavor 1. So I'll say add flavor 1. Then do I have ice cream stored anywhere? No. So I have to make this string, because I'm joining different strings. I'm not putting parentheses or quotes over here or quotes over name, because I've already put them when I stored them. But 8 is not stored anyway. Ice cream is not stored anyway. So I am actually putting that parenthesis because they are string. I can actually have ice cream of price. I can have this like this. This is a whole string, right? Then I have $20. I have 20 as stored as the price one. So I can say add the price, favor 1 price value over here, and what is the price? Dollars, and a full stop. This is what I want. Now this makes up my string concatenated. But what is the problem over here? Why is there a lot of errors and a lot of this? Because there's a problem. What I am doing, you can see, can only concatenate string, not integers. I can only add up many strings together. And what the problem was, my flavor over here came out to be an integer. It was an integer. It didn't have quote. So what can I do is I can just transform it into a string. How do you transform something? str of flavor 1. This will convert whatever is there in flavor 1 into a string. Okay, or I had another option where I could actually put the double quotes over here. If I had put double quotes, then there was no need for me to write string. Okay, but let me just show you this way where you can't concatenate different data types together. You have to have all of them in that form. Now let me see what is happening. Let me print how does my X look. There is again a problem, but let's see what is this. I don't have proper spaces. I don't have anything. I have just spaces somewhere. I don't have spaces somewhere. So what does this mean? After name, after I write Mikash, I want a space. So I have to actually add a space. So I'm just saying add a space over here. After A, I want a space. After flavor, again I want a space. After price, I want a space. I have to actually put these spaces. This is the way I do. Now you see, there's a space. So in the string, inside a string only I'm telling, there should be a space. After every string there should be a space. This makes my entire string visible. Now let me just show you the structure part, which this might be a little bit confusing. So what is the type of flavor 1 price? Let me see what is the type. It's an integer. But if I convert it to str, okay, I'll just convert it over here, str of 20, and let me see what is the type. So it becomes a string. Okay, so that was the difference, sorry. Now this is how you concatenate string, and it is a little bit difficult to have your values. Whatever things you have already stored, you don't have to put quotes over there. Whatever strings that you're storing now, you have to put quotes around it. Whatever things are not in the string format, convert them into string as you add, And don't forget to put the spaces as a part of your string to get your spaces. This might seem difficult, but we have a very easier method that we'll see very soon. Now there are some methods that are going to give you, that are going to change your string, that is going to do a lot of more things with your string. The first one and the common one is lower. Now say I have my name stored as Mikash. Okay, that is something that you all know, that I have my name stored as Mikash. Now I don't want anything to be capital letters. I don't want anything to be, I want everything to be in small letters, small alphabet. So I can do name dot lower and round brackets, empty round brackets. So this is a method. Lower is a method. And how do you write method? These are methods that are given to only string. Now let me tell you what are methods. Methods are specific functions that are given to a specific data type. So lower is a function that is only given to strings. And how do you write function? You have to write the variable name on which you are performing that method, then dot, which is compulsory, what is the name of that method, lower, and a round bracket. What will this do? This will convert my name variable, every character to small. Suppose I had all of this capital, suppose I had this as Mikash, and then I run this lower, so it will convert everything into small letters. Opposite to that, what we have, or what we call the upper. So my name is equal to Mikash. Now what I want to do, 1 minute, why is this name in capital letters? I don't want like that. I want my name to be like this. Now I want to convert this to caps lock, to capital letters. I have to say name of my variable dot. I want to apply the upper method, and method will obviously have a round bracket. This converts my whole value into, so I can actually store this also in name. I am telling take my name variable, apply this upper method on this and store it back to the name variable. So this is how it works. Okay. Now when I print my name, you see it is coming in capital. So it is being changed over there. Next method is strip. Strip is also a very common method that you will come across. Suppose my Mikash is stored like this. There is space around this. When you get data from the internet and all of those places, there are times when you have these extra spaces, extra tabs, what you call, and you don't need this. You want to remove this. The first one is the else strip. So this space on the right side is called as the right space, and this is called as the left. The left hand side space is the left space. So the else strip is used to remove the left hand side space. Now else strip is also a method. So the same way how method works. On whom do I want to apply this method? On the name variable. Which method do I want to apply? Dot else strip. Okay, and obviously there comes the round bracket. Now you can see that the space has been removed. Now let me just apply R strip. 1 minute, I'll just run it again and then I'll show you. Yeah, now what you can see, the name was Mikash, which was having two spaces, one in the left, one in the right. And then when I did else strip, it is going to remove the left space. So it is removed the left space, but you can see the right space is already there. It is there, it is not been changed. Now instead of else strip, let me apply something what you call as the R strip, and logically it is to remove the right hand side space of my name. Now you can see from name only the right hand side space was removed, that is this side space. This side space is already there. Now I have one more way which you can deal with. So my name is equal to, 1 minute, my name is equal to Mikash with a space on both the sides. I want to remove the space at one time only. So that's where you use just the strip function. So from name, please apply the strips function, and obviously it's a method, sorry, it's not a function, and a round bracket because it's a method and you have to put round bracket. Name dot strip. Now you see at one glance you can see it has removed both the spaces at a single time. If I want, I can just change. Now when I'm just applying the method, it is not changing my real variable. It's just applying the method and giving me. I can say apply the method and store it back to the name variable. And now when I print my name variable, it will have it without that space. You can see no spaces there. So that was the strip method. Now comes the count method. Now there are times when you have more than one character that is repeated in your string. Suppose, now that's the very easy one that I go for is my name. I want to check how many A is there in my name. So I have to say name dot count. What do I want to count? Now you see why the parenthesis is used. When you have an alternative thing that you can do with that method. In the rest of the method, we had no option. Lstrip does the same function, rstrip does the same function, upper will do the same function. But count can do different functions. That basically means I can count anything of my wish. So from name, suppose I want to count how many times is H coming. And H is a string, don't forget to put that. It's telling me it's coming only one time. Let me add one more H and run and see. Now it's telling me it is coming 2 times. So that's how count works. It will tell you a single character how many times it is coming. Now let me just print for you my flavor. Now let me check how many times A is coming. In what? In my flavor. Okay. Now you will see how things work differently. Oh God, what did I do? I did a mistake. Here is where my variable will come and here is where my method will come. Now you see there are A's coming 4 times. Now like this I can actually check how many times is, you can see I have LA or AL. Okay, let it be. I can check or substring also how many times it is coming. How many times is LA coming? So it is telling it is coming only 1 time. It is coming over here. Now let's make our own variable. Let's take flav is equal to choco. Okay, this is my flavor variable and let me check how many times is co coming. Okay, so what do? You have to write the variable on which the method is to be performed, dot the method name, and what do I want to find? In parenthesis I want to check co, how many times co is coming. It's coming 2 times. Co. You can also find how many times is space coming. Okay, it's telling me it's coming 0 times. So that's when you use counting. Next method is starts with. So I want to check what does my name start with. So I have to say, I have to actually recheck. Okay, I already know it starts with M. I'm checking, am I through? Am I right? Name dot starts with. What does it start with? Does it start with a capital M? It is telling me true. One more thing let me tell you. If I write small m over here, it will give me false, because in Python capital and small m are 2 different characters. So that's how you can use starts with. I want to check what does my name end with. Does it name my name ends with a H? Sorry, why did I write starts? The next method is ends with, where you have written as ends and with, and inside the bracket what do you want it to be end, what do you want to check. So I am checking with an H. True, it is ending with an H. So there are times you want to check what is your string ending with. Next one is numeric. You might remember, right? Let's go back. We had something called as integer string. What were we storing? We were storing integers in that. So now let's get to some integer. Oh, that's a lot of stuff we have done. Now I'm storing an integer, my roll number. Now I can have different ways in I have my roll number. I can have my roll number being S1920, or I can have my roll number 1 as only 1920. Now I'm checking. this method. Now you can see how this methods work, right? Let me run this, control enter to run it. Now let me store this as string. Okay, we are storing our roll number as string because we don't want to perform any mathematical operations on them. Don't forget that. Now that I have stored my roll numbers as strings, let us check how can we check if there's only number in it. Is it just a number string, or is it having alphabets or characters or symbols also in it? That's what the method isNumeric is for. So my roll number variable, let me just change something. I can have roll1 given to this, and this is somebody else's number. Let's give it roll2. I am checking, is roll1 completely a number string having no other characters. So roll1 dot isNumeric is what your method looks like. It is telling me true, roll1 is numeric. How did it tell me that? False. Yeah, I didn't run it, I think so. So roll1 is numeric. It is telling me that it's not completely numeric. There is a character, there is an S. So it's not a complete numeric string. Whereas in 2, I expect it to be a numeric string, and it give me yes, it's an numeric string. It is true. It's a complete numeric string. Next is join. Now we did see those plus concatenation that was so difficult for us. Concatenating using plus. Now let's go back. Let me just copy all of this thing down now and make things little simpler for us, make things little easy for us using this method that we call as the join method, used to again concatenate strings. So these are all the things I have. I have all my flavors, my name, my price, and I have this sentence that I want to print. Now we'll be using the join method over here. You'll be surprised. It's very nice. What I want to join, I have to write that in a list. Okay, list is another form of data type that you will learn soon. What all do I want to write? I have to write it in a single entry. So I want Mikash. What is Mikash? Name. Name is my first entry. Then I want the other string, that is 8 as another entry, comma. The next entry is vanilla. What is vanilla? It is my flavor 1. Then the next string is ice cream. Then what do I want? Of price $20. So I want the next element to be 20. That is nothing but flav1 price. And then I want to also have, sorry, why I'm putting plus, comma, the last element is dollars, and obviously a question mark. This is what I want to join. So you have to write this as an entire list in a form of list, single element separated by comma, comma, comma. Then let me apply the dot join method before. That's how you apply a method, right? Dot join. And because it's a dot join, I need to have my round bracket, and actually this list is going inside this round bracket. Now it's your choice how you want to join all of those strings. My wish is I want to join them with a space. So inside this quotes I will write, I'll put a space. So now let me tell you and explain you what this whole sentence means. It means please use the dot join method and join whatever is there inside the round brackets, and the whatever is there is given in the list, and these are single entries. Name is an entry, 8 is an entry, all of these are an entry. Please join all of this. And how do you want to join? I have to write this inside quotes. I have put a space, join this as a space. Let's run it. Okay, there's an error. What is an error? String instead, there's an integer found. Now this problem is going to be there, and that problem is please get your data types converted to string. This one problem is there over here, rest is fine. Now you see all your values were joined and automatically there was space, whereas when we were doing concatenation we had this problem. We had to put space everywhere. So automatically here there was space. Now let me give you, if I want, I can use something else also. Inside this quotes I'll write, please join it as dot dot dot. So between every element there should be a dot instead of a space. Now you see, first element dot dot dot, second element, that is 8 space a dot dot dot. So that's how you join your strings. These are all my strings. That's a method for joining string. But there's one drawback, that all your data types need to be string, and for that you have to convert them. Next, now let me just store this in a variable. So let me name it as 8. What is that? I have 8, and let me keep it as 8 as the variable in which I'm storing. Now comes the split. Now say all of you know what is my print flavor variable. What is my flavor variable? It is vanilla and chocolate. Let me just, for your more ease, let me just elaborate, expand this. Vanilla and chocolate, and I'm also having butterscotch. Okay, I'm having butterscotch also. These are all the things that I have taken. Let me run the cell. Now I want to split this. How do I split it? Like you had many little strings, and what you did, you just joined them using the joint operator, the method, sorry. Now split is the reverse. You have an entire long string, you have to split it, you have to break it. So let's see how the method works. It's a method. So there comes the dot split. What do I want to split? I want to split my flavor variable, that is this variable, that is this quantity. But how do I want to split it? From where do I want to split it? So here comes the, 1 minute, I think so I did something mistake. I have to put your flavor and inside it. So I have to, let me just get to this again. So I want to use the split method. On what do I want to split? I want to split the flavor variable, that will come before the dot. Then comes the dot split, and inside the bracket I will tell on what basis do I want to split. So let me just keep it empty and see how it is working. So what did it do? It splitted my flavor variable as the first variable, then space, and then comes the other, then again the space was taken, and then comes the other. So it splitted my flavor variable from the spaces. Wherever there came a space, it splitted it. I can actually specify where I want to split. Say I want to split at and. So now you see how it worked. Wherever and came, the next element was splitted. And then again when an and came, it was splitted. So this is a way where you split and you get a list. So opposite of join. In join you give a list and you say please join these elements. In split you give a string and it splits you back into some lists. I can have anything, okay. I can have split it at I. Now you see wherever I came. So there was VALL, then came an I, so it splitted. My next element is NA, then A, and it came, it went up to the end till the I didn't come. So that's a split. Not very common, but you may use. Now comes the favorite part of string concatenation that was so difficult. Then there were so many problems. There was this conversion of data type and all of those things. Then we saw join. Join also had this one drawback that you can't have many data types and add them together. And for this, formatting strings is the method that comes very handy, where you can put any data types, you can add any data type to your string. So I will show you how. So now that we have our flavors and all of those things, and I told that what do I want. Let me just get back to this so that you can remember what I want. This is what I have, okay. Let me just remove this again. So I have a flavor one, and who is eating this flavor one? I am eating, Mikash is eating, and what is the price of that flavor one ice cream? $20. And I want to print Mikash ate a vanilla ice cream of price $20. But I don't want to use that plus operator, I don't want to use that join operator, and I don't want to do my conversions. That's a very important part. So how will I do? So whatever I have to join, I will write it inside a string. I will write, now I have to write it inside a string, okay. I'll write this whole thing, okay. Let me just write this whole thing so that you can understand it better. This is what I want, okay, but I can't, the main thing is I don't want to write it the whole myself. I want to use whatever I had. So do I have Mikash? Yeah, I have Mikash already stored as name. So in that place I'll put curly bracket. Then I'll go, do I have Ater? No, I don't have. Do I have vanilla? Yeah, I have vanilla. So there I'll put curly brackets. Then do I have ice cream of price? No, I don't have all of this, but I have 20 stored. I will cut this and I'll put a curly bracket again over here. Now what I'll do, after I'm done with my writing of this string, I will write a new method that I'm going to show you. That's called dot format. That's a method, and then comes obviously a method, a round bracket has to come. Inside this round bracket I will write in an order. What was the first thing that I have not written and which I have to take from my data that is already stored is the name variable. Whatever is in the name variable has to come in the first position, comma. What has to come in the second position? Flavor 1 has to come. What has to come in the third position? Flavor 1 underscore, 1 minute, what happened? Flavor 1 underscore price has to come. Okay, this is what I meant. Now let's see how this is working. Now you can see it automatically printed Mikash ate a vanilla ice cream of price $20. And what was the most amazing part over here? I actually didn't have to convert flavor 1 price from an integer to a string. It automatically did it. It automatically took it. So that's so powerful, right? So let me just recap. You have to write your string, what you want, and in places where you have the data already, you have to put your curly brackets. Then you have to write the method dot format, and inside the round brackets you have to write the first curly bracket has to be taken from where? It has to be taken from the name variable. So I wrote name. Second bracket has to be taken from where? From the flavor 1 variable, and so on. So this was about formatting string. Now you can make things simpler also. Let's take, I have this with index. What do I mean by with index? Now maybe I don't remember. I have actually put things over here, but let me just put it a different way. I didn't put things in an order. Okay, let me just put this name here. Okay, this is the form in which I have after my dot format I have put stuffs. I have the price, I have first the flavor 1, then the price of the flavor 1 and the name. But over here there's something else that is being taken, right? There's not the, according to what we learned, if I print this, let me see what will come. 1 minute. Yeah, now you can see what came. What was flavor 1? That took the first position. What was flavor 1 price? That took the second position. Vanilla ate a 20 ice cream of price Mikash dollars. Not making sense? Maybe I just put it wrong over here. So one change that I can do is I can give which position element is going to be coming over here. So inside my round bracket, what do I want in the first curly bracket? I want name to be there. Whatever is stored in the name. So what is the position of name? This is the 0 position, this is the first position, and name is the second position. So I can actually put, here comes the whatever is there in the second in the round bracket. Second, by that I mean the second position. Flavor 1 being, the first one being the 0th position. Then what do I want after 8? Or I want the flavor. So where is flavor given in my curly round brackets? It's there in the first position, that is 0. That's the 0th position according to Python. Then price, where is price given? It's given after flavor. That means flavor 1 0, flavor 1 price 1 position. Now when I print it, now you see things are coming so perfect. So you can have, if you want, if you are not putting all your after dot format everything in order, you can have what index it should take the value from the bracket. Okay, that was one thing. Now one more thing that you can do to make things more simpler is you don't need to necessarily have things in order. Okay, let me just get this off with name. So I can give each one of them name. This is given the name X, this is given the name Y, this is given the name Z. Whatever is coming inside my dot format method, whatever variable name, give them also a name. And here I can write in place of the first curly bracket, the Z who is given Z name, that is the name is given Z, it should come. Price, flavor one price is given the value Y, so Y should come after price. And here which variable should come? The X variable should come. So I can have it this way also. Now that's the same thing, right? Instead of numbers, instead of the position, I'm giving them a name and I'm putting that inside this. So that's so powerful. You don't have to convert the type. You can have an integer like how we had over here, and you can do very easily. The next video for you to watch is a complete tutorial video on lists in Python.